Well, I have to tell you a story. I found out when I was in 6th grade that I had to wear glasses, and I was so excited. Well, it didn't take me long to start squinting my way around and not wearing my glasses. Either I didn't like the feel of them or I didn't like how people made fun of me. I just didn't want them. Well, if you've noticed, I have them on top of my head, and I go around my day now wearing my glasses on top of my head. And I do so because I even more need them to read. But I still will find myself squinting away. And isn't it crazy how we do that in life? We get to almost start seeing a certain way and we think it's clear, but it's really not. There's times when I take my glasses off of my head and I look and I go, oh, that's what that says. And we do that in life. Well, my word for the year is clarity. And I've been asking God to reveal more about himself to me through others, through music, through his word. And so about a week ago, I was reading along in the book of Matthew in chapter 7. And I was reading starting in verse 3, and this portion is about judging others. So starting with verse 3, here's what it says. And why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye, when you can't see past the log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. This word jumped out at me, log. Log. What is my log? And I love how Jesus is telling this story. He's sharing this, and he's really exaggerating because he's going, a log is really whatever we're blinded by when it comes to our relationship with God. So things that our failures, our mistakes, our sin that we have, that we're blinded to, and we often push it aside as we look at other people. So we look at other people and go, well, they're doing that. We're not that bad. And so Jesus is using this big log, these big things that we deal with. We don't even notice that they're there. I thought, wait a minute, what's my log? If it's truly there and I don't know it, then what is it? And how would I know? And so I meditated on that for a little while. And then I started reading again. And if you skip down to verse 7, Jesus says, keep on asking and you'll receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you. And I thought, well, geez, I'm going to ask him, God. And right away, he put something in my mind. And then he started reminding me of ways that I fall short in with that log. I said, God, I'm sorry. Please remove this log from me. And then I felt him saying, that's great, Kim. I want that log gone. But you need to replace it with something of me in order to combat the log itself. So friends, I'm going to ask you, what's your log? Do you know what your log is? And the truth is we all have them, and we have more than one. And our gracious God, he thankfully shares them usually one at a time and lets us handle one at a time with him. But here's how I believe he wants us to do this. First, he wants to reveal it to us. So we need to ask him, God, what is my log? And then we need to actually repent. We actually need to ask him to remove it from us, to apologize and say, God, I'm sorry, it's there, take it from me. And then ask him to replace it with really the opposite. So for example, if your log is pride, ask God to replace it with humility. If your log is greed, ask him to replace it with generosity. If it's lust, purity. If it's selfishness, selflessness. You get the idea, right? The tricky thing about these terrible logs is they're going to keep trying to come back. But each time they do, say, wait, no, God, replace it, please, with, and then name that great attribute of Jesus's that actually we're asking for. Humility, purity, kindness, love, whatever it is. I want to replace it with that. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a good rest of the week. This has been Next Steps with Kim.